Greeting of the day. My name is from Charitable Trust, Thakur Shyamnarayan Degree College. I am the Assistant Professor of Food and Beverage from the Hotel Management Department. Thank you Ashish Dulce sir for hosting the paper presentation round 3. Now we'll start with the paper presentation round 4. I would like to invite Swapnil Sahu from FY BSc Hospitality Studies. She is going to present a topic on receiving the stores raw materials for the operation in the hotel. Over to you, Swapnil.
Greetings of the day, myself Swapnil Sahu from FY BSc Hospitality Studies from Thakur Institute of Hotel Management. I would like to thank Professor Gaurav Sami sir for helping me throughout the case study. And the case study is on receiving the store's raw materials for the operational in the hotel. Uh, COVID pandemic is a threat to mankind across the world. Hospitality study is undergoing a forceful lockdown which holding a high amount of operational cost and overheads that has got its financial standing to a rock bottom. The non-favorable conditions and the non-supportive government policies are making the reinstate process very difficult. Sustainability seems to mission impossible. Uh, mm, with many hotels with low-profile financial conditions, the research revolves around the impact of the pandemic and identifying possible solutions with that will not only help the hoteliers to receive but also to boost the hospitality industry back at its normal pace and prospect. It is very important to all the stakeholders of the hospitality industry like hoteliers, customers, travel agents, tour operators, governments, NGOs, financial institutions should work in harmony and symbiosis to come out to this global crisis. The introduction to the topic is the first outburst of COVID-19 occurred in Wuhan, Hubei province in early December 2019. On January 30, 2020, the World Health Organization tagged this outbreak of the disease as a COVID-19 survey acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2 is the root because behind COVID-19 disease. The first COVID case in India was detected due to foreign travel history in Kerala in the month of March. The travel restrictions, ban on visas, self-quarantine policies, work from home, social distancing while buying essentials were immediately enforced due to rising cases of pandemic. But in the case of hospitality industry, work from home option cannot work as the hospitality products and services need to be delivered physically. Uh, these are some literature review. BW Hotelier April 10, 2020 in its report on the impact of COVID-19 on Indian hotel sector mentioned that hospitality industry is badly hit with the outbreak of pandemic causing a foremost financial loss. Hospi- uh, Hospitality industry has faced a lot of loss because of the COVID-19. Managing employee health, including contracted outputs, instruct employees with symptoms associated with COVID-19 to report them to their supervisors. Instruct sick employees to stay at home and follow all the guidance. Consult with the local doctor or health department for additional guidance. If an employee is sick at work, send them home immediately. Disinfect and clean the work area. Others at the facility with close contact, that is within 6 feet of the employee during this time, should be considered exposed. Instruct employees who are well but know they have been exposed to COVID-19 to notify their supervisor and follow TDC recommended precautions. Personal hygiene for employees. Emphasize effective hand hygiene, including washing hands for at least 20 minutes, especially after going to the bathroom, before eating, after blowing your nose, coughing, sneezing. Always wash with soap and water. If soap and water are not readily available, then you can use alcohol-based hand sanitizer at least 60% of alcohol, and avoid working with unwrapped or exposed food. Avoid touching your nose, mouth, and eyes. Use gloves to avoid direct bare hand contact with ready-to-eat foods. Before planning or eating food, always wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds for generally for safety of food. Managing pickup and delivery, have employees wash hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after going to the bathroom, coughing, blowing their nose, or sneezing after touching high-touch surface, example doorknobs and doorbells. If soap and water are not readily available, you can use alcoholic-based sanitizer. Increase the frequency of cleaning and disinfecting of high-touch surfaces such as countertops and touch tops, and within the vehicle by wiping down surface using a regular household cleaning spray and wipe. Make establish design backup zones for customers to help maintain social distancing. Practice social distancing when delivery, the example offering no touch deliveries and to the uh, sending text alerts or calling when deliveries have arrived. Conduct an evaluation of facility to identify and apply operational changes in order to maintain social distancing, if offering takeout or carry out option by maintaining a 6 foot distance. Routinely clean and sanitize bags used to deliver any materials. The delivery person and the receiver should be on social distancing with heightened awareness as a result of the pandemic. People should be safe. Some of the protocols given by the government has to be followed by people in order to survive during the COVID-19 pandemic, as the clinic plays an important role during the time of COVID-19. Hotel industry has increased their focus more on cleanliness. Hotels have made themselves flexible to the condition of this COVID-19 pandemic. Mm. How the role of hotel industry has been changed during the COVID-19 pandemic has also been mentioned in the case study. Cleaning hotels is a core part of the hospitality business. They should start with proper negotiation and payment credit with suppliers. Train their staff with government certified agency like POSTAC or WHO for post-COVID-19 manuals. This will also help to gain paramount importance. Being hygienic and healthy Being hygienic and healthy would let us fight against every such virus, that is coronavirus or any other. Hotels have made themselves flexible to the condition of this COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic brought us a very drastic change for the industry of hotel and tourism, which was more focused about earning profit to the industry, which is focused about the health and hygiene for their guests. Hospitality industry needs to understand and start with planning strategies along with all of the stakeholders with their synchronizes. COVID-19, which has got the world business and economy to a halt, seems to be at the edge of the correction. uh, the introduction of vaccine will create a new hope and trust in the in the mind of the mankind, but the impact of obliteration it has done on the economy and humans will take at least 2 to 3 years of constructive and planned approach of rebuilding in order to sustain and get back to the normal place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swapnil, for your presentation. As we got good information regarding the topic, now we have Branel, student of FYPSC Hospitality Studies, will present his PPT on the topic pre and post COVID-19 service in room dining. Over to you, Branel.
Good day, I'm Branel D'souza from Thakur Institute of Hotel Management at FYPSC Hospitality Studies, and I would like to thank Professor Gaurav Salyan for guiding me through this case study, a case study on pre and post COVID service in in-room dining. In-room dining. It implies on serving food and beverage in guest rooms of hotels. Small orders are served in trays, major meals are taken in the room on trolley. The guest places his order with the room service order taker. The major two types of in-room services are centralized and decentralized. Centralized, where all food and orders are processed from the main kitchen and sent to the room by a common team of waiters. Decentralized, each floor or set of floors may have separate pantries to serve them. Advantages and disadvantages of in-room dining. Guest advantages. Guests can eat, drink within their own private room in the hotel. Guests can order meals whenever they want. Room service can reduce food wastage. Convenience for guests with children. Promote safety as guests are able to stay inside the hotel. The disadvantages are food and drinks are much more expensive than average. The guests may be less likely to experience local food. Introduction. The global hospitality sector has been hit hard by the COVID-19 crisis. Hotels and casinos, sporting venues have stood empty for months as government and public health authorities acted to certain the spread of coronavirus. Organization will need to reimagine the customer experience and re-engage the customers to build and maintain trust at the same time. They will need to improve their operational agility and financial resilience to navigate the uncertainties of doing the business in the world racked by the pandemic. Yet the world in which the industry now finds itself has changed. COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting global lockdown have dramatically affected consumer behaviors. Some behavioral changes in motions before the outbreak has accelerated. Arrival and checkout of the guests. To minimize To minimize the personal contacts and pre-arrival of the guests, online arrival registrations are done. It may also be advanced further and quicker. The use of electronic locks as Bluetooth and RFID technologies, which companies like Starwood and Hilton have been looking forward for some time. Checkouts. Digital hotel invoices are shared on mail and contactless payments to the guest upon departure confirmation. Prior to the contactless checkouts, ensure in-room verification. Safety precautions taken. Future guests will be seeking safe environment and governments may require a system of authorization on mobile phones for tracking their voluntary and mandatory. Countries like Singapore are already rolling out for a system using QR apps. Trace together this public area sanitizing and disposable wipes availability. Guests will accept to see evidence of a greater public hygiene. Automatic electronic doors will be favorable to push and pull. Room service safety. As hotel avoids more public dining, room service may become more popular and other forms of in-room dining through apps such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo may become more relevant. Greetings and acknowledgements. Hand may be seen as a quick way to transfer COVID throughout the property. The standard handshake may become less attractive to many guests and staff alike. While there are plenty of alternatives available from the star stick salute to the more traditional namaste greeting, there are also more discreet greetings such as the hand on the heart sincere greeting. Review. From the last few decades, hospitality industry have attracted scholars and offered a venue for different types of research. India is emerging in this direction and focusing on conceptual and empirical researches. However, to achieve desired results, there is there is need of our to add valuable exploratory information to hospitality management literature. In the hospitality industry, every hotel manager agrees that service is the utmost priority. That's why to improve the level of service, the several practices in use in the hospitality industry, the guest returns back to the hotel he finds good service. Food and beverage. Room service or in-room dining in a hotel service enabling guests to choose items for food and drink for delivery to their hotel rooms for consumption. The room service is organized in a subdivision within food and beverage department of high-end local and resort properties. 24 hours basis or limited to late night hours only. Due to the cost of customized orders and delivery of room service, prices charged to the patron are typically higher than in hotels, restaurants, or truck shops, and a gratuity is expected. Conclusion: the review of literature imitates that in-room dining practices is widely used concept in the hospitality industry and has profound impact of revenue management and quality of services. Moreover, Indian hospitality management literature revealed that there is a high need of add exploratory data in less researched areas, that is in-room dining. Thank you.
Thank you, Branel, for your wonderful presentation. Now, we have Tanay Parve, student of FYBAC Hospitality Studies. He is going to present his topic on pre- and post-COVID-19 protocols followed in a specialty restaurant. Over to you, Tanay.
Greetings of the day. My name is Tanay Parve from FYBSc Hospitality Studies from Thakur Institute of Hotel Management. I would like to thank Professor Gaurav Salian for guiding me through this case study, a case study on pre- and post-COVID protocols followed in specialty restaurants. The sudden outbreak of coronavirus disease COVID-19 rapidly spread across the globe, leaving no country behind, being affected by the global pandemic in the year 2019-20. In the hospitality sector, the unanticipated disruption of COVID has initiated its lock on global food supply and has impacts all around the economic industry of the hospitality sector. This research primarily investigates on the ongoing COVID-19 scenarios in the economies of restaurants and explores the policies adopted and the strategies undertaken for sustainability in specialty restaurants. The COVID-19 virus was first founded in December 2019 in Wuhan, China. It is very contagious and it spreads very quickly around the world. COVID-19 most often causes respiratory symptoms that can feel much like a cold, a flu, or pneumonia. COVID-19 attacks more than your lungs and respiratory system. It is a part of the coronavirus family, which includes many common viruses such as head cold or chest cold. But it also consists of severe acute respiratory syndrome such as SARS, Medical East Respiratory Syndrome, MERS. Because COVID-19 has spread across the world so fast, a third of people who are infected don't even get the symptoms of the coronavirus. But the initial question was, what are the possible effects of coronavirus on the hospitality sector and what protocols to be followed to revive the industry? This case study mainly researches the impacts of the COVID-19 virus on the hospitality business and how to revive the hospitality sector. The COVID-19 has also made economic effects on the industry. The economic impact of COVID-19 hit was the economic impact of COVID-19 on hospitality industries is a tale told only in astronomical numbers. As the COVID-19 was hit on the hospitality industry first, with scant passengers ratting around inside empty airplanes, hotels abandoned, and thousands of weddings usually considered recession-proof or postponed, the hospitality is losing an average of more than 12,000 jobs per day, as it has been affecting the entire industry. Hence, the World Health Organization has encouraged people for taking vaccinations, have proved to make the current pandemic situation improve and the world returning to normal. Why is this research important? Well, this research is significant as it reveals the effects of global pandemic on the hospitality business. The hospitality business was first to get hit by the virus. That's why following the proper protocols for the COVID-19 virus is important to revive the industry and solve the COVID-19 problems and improve the situation to return to normal as it was in the pre-COVID era. The guidelines given by the World Health Organization tells the hospitality operation to change its overall strategies. The pandemic has changed the situation too quickly, and to face the negative impacts of hotels are required to take quick actions to avoid the consequences the coronavirus could have brought. Up until now, the research has shown that pandemic situation was almost no preparations to deal with the pandemic due to the lack of resources devoted to such studies viruses. As we saw that the hospitality industry has had no preparations to fight with the viruses that were encountered today. That's why it is necessary to follow the guidelines given to ensure that type of impact doesn't happen again in the future. This table summarizes the studies done on crisis management in major hospitality and tourism journal and management in a COVID-19 scenario. As we can see, the studies done on the country, Hong Kong, was an impact of SARS outbreak on hotels. That to cope up with the situations, the hotel had to develop a contingency plan to restore guest confidence among main measures highlighted. regular staff meetings, enforcing environmental hygiene and clean policies to fight the virus. Given the current situation, it is clear that the coronavirus is going to cause more problems in the future, and it will take hospitality industries at least 2 to 3 years to uh, recover from this situation. Coming to the sector of specialty restaurants, the specialty restaurants serve food prepared from menu that is developed from a culture of people loving cultural food and getting particular cuisines at a time in a restaurant was loved by people. Specialty restaurants were almost always booked in the pre-COVID era, but as the COVID-19 affected the world, the bookings of the hotels have come to a halt. But for the safety of the people, there are protocols given by the World Health Organization to follow as as to bring the restaurant business back to normal. Uh, First, the protocols that have to be followed by the restaurants are physical distancing of at least 6 feet to be followed as far as feasible. To avoid the coronavirus pandemic, each and every guest and also a staff has to be kept a distance of 6 feet to follow social distancing. Practice frequent hand washing with soap for at least 40 to 60 seconds. Every person should always do a hand wash with every frequent hours and use hand sanitizers wherever feasible. Respiratory etiquettes to be strictly followed. This involves strict practice of covering one's mouth and nose while sneezing with a tissue, handkerchief, and disposing of the tissues properly. One should always use tissues and handkerchief to avoid to use while in the case of sneezing. Self-monitoring of health by all and reporting any illness earlier state and district helpline. Spitting shall be strictly prohibited. Every staff member should inform their managers if they are ill and not report to duty for the safety of other guests. To summarize the situation, the impact the COVID has made on the hospitality industry is a drastic situation to ensure the safety of the people in the industry. A thorough study was provided in order to understand the effect of pandemic affecting the hospitality sector. The given protocols are going to be useful for the coming future of the hotels and restaurants as they will be forcing more hygiene and cleanliness. It will make sure to be prepared to handle such tough situations like this pandemic and to ensure a bright future. COVID-19 pandemic. So we conclude this case study with the COVID-19, which has gotten the world business and economy to a halt, seems to be at the edge of correction. The introduction of vaccine will create a new hope and trust in the mind of mankind, but the impact it has done on the economy will take humans at least 2 to 3 years to rebuild in the order of sustain to get back on normal pace. The hospitality industry needs to understand and start planning the strategies along with a harmonized approach to accelerate the rebuilding process. The findings yield significant insights to guide the hospitality industry in responding to current crises and prepare for the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanay, for your wonderful presentation. Now we have Vinit Paralkar, student of FYBAC Hospitality Studies. He is going to present his topic on pre and post COVID-19 protocols followed in banquets. Over to you, Vinit.
Greetings of the day. My name is Vinit Paralkar from FYBAC Hospitality Studies from Thakur Institute of Hotel Management. I would like to thank Professor Gaurav Salian for his guidance in this case study. Today I would like to present to you a case study on pre and post COVID-19 protocols followed in banquets. The COVID-19 pandemic and the restrictions imposed due to it have had an unparalleled effect on the hospitality industry. The hospitality sector around the globe has been hit hard and has been experiencing an all-time low. This has led to a negative impact on the day-to-day working of properties and institutions providing hospitality services. But most importantly, the lives of guests were put in great threat. This resulted in the overhaul performed collectively by the staff on a global platform to ensure the safety of the guests as they return to their homes away from the home. COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus, first detected in Wuhan in China. Given its rapid expansion, the World Health Organization (WHO) declared a state of sanitary emergency. Amongst the highest number of affected were the United States, India, Russia, and many more. Since its detection, the COVID-19 disease has reached practically every country, affecting millions of people and causing deaths of thousands of people, and the number still counting. Thousands of lives were saved due to the prophylactic measures based on social distancing and social isolation, as well as strong limitations on traveling, which in turn have caused an economic crisis. However, there have been a few measures taken by the governments globally under the guidance of WHO, World Health Organization, to curb the spread of the fatal virus, which include SOPs, standard operating procedures, and protocols, which include social distancing protocols, mandatory use of face masks in public, and free vaccination campaigns, which restores some hope in the return of the new normal. Therefore, this explanatory research through a case study aimed to measure and analyze the possible impacts that the pandemic will have on the hospitality industry around the globe. Likewise, it aimed to study the measures that are being taken by the hotels and banquets involved and the proposed strategies to spread the return, to speed up the return to the new normal. To achieve this objective, the following section will present a review of the literature related to the effects of some previous crises on hospitality industries and the responses that were taken to get out of the situation. Literature review. When crisis situations such as COVID-19 happened, they forced the hospitality companies to change the operating strategies. Previous research has shown that there is little preparedness for a crisis situation in the hospitality industry due to mainly lack of devoted resources and lack of knowledge and experience about how to act. The little research unanimity that exists has found out the crisis situation have a strong impact on the hospitality industry. The scarce empirical research published regarding the COVID-19 and its impacts until now reported severe fall in the revenue per room and hotel occupancy. Table 1 presents a literature review focused on the hospitality industry, classified by the types of crisis impacts and response and recovery strategies. First, terrorism or terrorist attacks of 11 September 2001 in USA. There were great impacts on occupancy levels, average daily rates, and revenue per room dropped to a quite extent. The response and recovery strategies pushed the local markets, marketing strategies, human resource strategies, and focused the new segments. Second, pandemic SARS 2003 in Hong Kong. There were great impacts on the international travel as they had to be cancelled. Occupancy rates dropped and jobs were cut down. Response strategies were closing of the floors, suspension of food and beverage services, temporary closures, pay cuts, and no pay cut leaves. The following section will deepen an understanding of how the hospitality industry and specifically the banquets are facing the return to the new normal with the comparison of pre and post-COVID protocols. Case analysis. Due to the ongoing situation, travel restrictions are being observed at national and international levels. These lockdowns, event cancellations, and fear of spread have placed extreme challenges on tourism and hospitality sectors. As one can see, there have been drastic changes in the way the hospitality industry has been working during the pre-COVID era to the present times. One of the most affected parts in the hospitality industry were the banquets. Banquets are in so what are banquets? Banquets are institutions where a number of people consume food together and celebrate events like marriage ceremonies, parties, get-togethers, etc. Banquets are usually attended by huge crowds at a time. For this purpose, standard operating procedures or SOPs and standard COVID protocols have been implemented in all the countries with guidance from WHO, World Health Organization. Some of the protocols were the occupancy of the banquet shall not be more than 50% of the total capacity. For example, if a banquet hall has a capacity of 1,000 people, it should not exceed more than 500 people. Second, visitors need to show the safe status. The safe status indicates the vaccines taken by the citizens. Everyone will have to maintain at least 6 feet distance in public areas. This means that everyone needs to have at least 2 arms distance between one another. Face should be covered at all times with face mask. Face mask should be an N95 mask which can be easily found in the stationery near you. Provide alcohol-based hand sanitizer or hand washes or soaps at frequent intervals. If hand washes or soaps cannot be afforded, hand sanitizers can be provided. Make sure that the public and back areas are being sanitized frequently as well. Many a times we ignore the back areas. Provide tissues, water, and dustbin with lids that close. Follow the guidelines issued by the local government. This is a very important step. Avoid any physical contact with other people. Do not reuse linen like tablecloths, hand napkins, face towels, etc. Provision of digital menu cards if possible, where a QR code can be scanned through smartphones. Wash and sanitize the cutlery and crockery before every use. The hospitality industry should be focused on building trust in tourists, reinforcing their brand and adapting trust in tourists, reinforcing their brand and adapting their operation to the so-called new normal. The protocols mentioned before could be valuable in this period and in the near future when the pandemic has has come under control, as maintenance of hygiene and cleanliness is a habit to have. Is- There is no zero risk when it comes to social gathering, but the spread can be curbed if everyone follows the protocols. Ensuring the safety of the guest is the most important task. There are strict guidelines issued by the authorities and the government, and if no one conforms to them, it will soon be time to reconsider the policy and procedures. In conclusion, it can be said that the pandemic caused by the COVID-19 is the largest pandemic that has been observed in the last 100 years and has caused devastating effects on both the world economy and on that of the individual nations and especially the hospitality industry. These negative effects have been mainly due to travel bans, border closures, lockdowns, event cancellations, quarantine requirements, and the fear of spread of the COVID virus. Little preparedness for the crisis situation in the hospitality industry, as we have said as we have read in the literature review. The reduction in disposable income of many families who have seen their incomes disappear or decrease for a long amount of period. Future research should measure the impact of governmental initiatives to support the tourism and changes in the hospitality industry and operations and performance to survive in the new normal. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinit Paralkar, for your presentation. I would like to thank and congratulate each and every student of FYBAC Hospitality Studies for giving such a tremendous presentation with the skill and efficiency, as it's a turning point of your career when you are undergraduate students. Now, we end with the technical round 4 and we'll proceed for the lunch break. After the lunch break, we'll start with the felicitation program. Thank you.